Hi, my name's Adam. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to talk about a very common situation, and that is, a 55-year-old single person looking to retire, but maybe is a little short on money. And how do we supplement that? How do we create a better tax situation? So we're going to cover that. We're going to actually share our planning software, and I'm going to go through 3 different examples for this client to help them build up to an efficient and also a cash flow for their retirement that meets their needs. Before I jump into it, as I go through this video today, I'm going to, again, share our planning software. If you don't have a financial plan in place, or if your financial plan is lacking a lot of what I talk about today, reach out to our office. You can learn more at parallelwealth.com/planning. We offer fee-for-service financial plans, and we'll put some reviews up as well. We've done a lot of these for a lot of you viewers, and we appreciate your time and effort and support, but we also know there's a lot of you that need help. Trust me, putting these plans together, I've had 100% positive feedback from clients that we've done this for. Even people that come into it a little hesitant, like, Adam, I have a pretty good plan on my own. I think I'm pretty efficient. And, we'll save them tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes, boost up their income, create a better estate for them. So there's a lot of value depending on your different situation. But again, if you don't have a clear plan, parallelwealth.com/planning to learn more. So let's just tee up the client here. So it's a 55-year-old female single making $80,000 a year and is wanting to retire at 55 now. So she's going to work one more year at 55. She makes $80,000 a year. After that, she wants to retire or scale back, and she's not sure which one is the best option for her or which one is an option. Maybe it's not an option to retire. That's what we're going to break down in this video. We made some assumptions. So 70% CPP for her at 65. So if she retired now at the end of age 55, at age 65, based on everything she's put in, 100% OAS. She has $300,000 saved in an RSP and $100,000 saved up in her TFSA account. For this client, we've put a life expectancy of age 90. So we've done this plan out to age 90 for her. We also used an inflation of 2.5% and a rate of return, net rate of return of 6%. Jump into the planning software here. You'll see that the income on the left-hand side in real dollars is $30,996. And that runs out, again, if I scroll all the way down to age 90, that works out all the way to age 90. So that stays level to age 90. This client has $100,000 in TFSAs. Because she's working this year, we have contributed $6,000 as well as $14,400 to her RSP. What we've done is we've tried to level out, starting this year, her income in real dollars all the way down to 90. As you can see, we've defaulted here, start CPP at age 65 and OAS at age 65 as well. So both starting at 65, which most people will do. Some people that retire at 55 will lean to start taking CPP at 60. Again, I've done many videos on that to show it doesn't really make a lot of sense. On the right-hand side here, one thing we really look at is effective tax rates. And you can see this year when she's working, effective tax rate is going to be 16%. Then she's going to have a bunch of years at 0. Then it's going to jump up to 12. It kind of bobs all around, and that's very inefficient. Once it hits at 7.5 onwards, it's okay. But those first kind of 5 to 8 years, very inefficient at 0, then 3, then 12, and then back down to 7. So that's one thing we want to clean up. But again, if she retires at the end of this year, she has that TFSA and RSP saved up, she's looking at an income of $30,996 per year after tax in her pocket to spend and adjust it for inflation. But her income goal is $3,000 a month. So when we put this plan together for her, we said, look, this looks great. You've done well to save, but if you were to retire now, you're going to be short about $500 a month, which is substantial. So she said, look, Adam, that doesn't work for me. What are some options? So the very first thing we did is, well, what about if we created some tax efficiency? What about if we look to delay your CPP? What if we look to melt down your RSP and just not add anything into the plan, but just create more efficiency within the plan? So let's look at what that did. So now when we jump into the plan, you can see that the income has gone from $30,996 up to $32,246. So we've had a nice bump in income, which is great. We haven't added anything to the plan. All we've done here is, if I scroll down, you'll see the CPP number now is starting at age 70. So we've delayed her CPP all the way till age 70. And along with that, we've also created some efficiency around the RSP meltdown. So you can see, starting the first year of retirement, we're taking $22,000 all the way down to age 64. Then that age 65, we have 38,000, and then it drops down to 35,000, and then down to 15. So again, it ladders all over the place, and you can kind of see it bobs. Like, Adam, why does the RSP drawdown or meltdown kind of bob all over? Like, why don't we keep it consistent? The reason is because we're trying to, again, look at this effective tax rate. And we want to keep that effective tax rate ideally within about 2, 3, 4%. That's the range that we want to keep it in. Again, tax credits, other income, OAS, and CPP kick in. all those factors are going to play into your effective tax rate and how we adjust that RSP meltdown. So when we create an RSP meltdown and create tax efficiency, we're looking at average tax rate, how we average out that tax rate through retirement. And we know if we look at your total tax bill, both while you're living and any estate tax at death, that's the best way to reduce the tax now and at death. Just level out that tax bill. So again, we're bumping the income from, just shy of 31,000, we're up to 32,246, but we're still short of her goal. She needs $36,000 a year. So how do we get to 36? So we've gone back to her now and said, look, we create some efficiency. We've added a lot more income for you, but you're still a little bit short. So you're going to have to work, a part-time job, do something that generates a bit of income. So what we did is we sat down and figured out A, how long she wanted to work for, and B, what's realistic. So what we did is we looked at, okay, why don't you work from the end of this year, once you retire, part-time and earning a little bit more for the first 4 years, and then a bit less for the next, and basically retired by 65. So she was happy with that. Look, she wanted to retire from her full-time job and do something that she enjoys, even though she's not earning as much money, do something that she enjoys that supplements her income, but also creates a better retirement plan for her, both short-term and later on in life. So when we look at the plan now, you can see employment income. So she has that same 80,000 this year. Then we've run 25,000 for 4 years, all the way down to 59, and then dropped it to just $10,000 a year till 64. Okay, so again, kind of two phases of supplemental income in retirement. If we look at her real dollar income, we've now bumped over that 36,000. So 36,438. We've still deferred that CPP till 70 and done the RSP meltdown. So again, we've got her to her target and she's able to retire. Yes, she has to have some supplemental income on the side, but it's not a whole lot. Like if she was making $80,000 a year, she was obviously, educated, had a good job. She could probably find some consulting work, some part-time work, whatever it is, to meet that 25,000 and then that 10,000. So a big point here, and I think this is a big part of what I want to cover here is now that she's drawing in this extra supplemental income, how does that affect her RSP meltdown and her tax rate? So let's jump into that. So if I share that screen here, I'll go over to the right-hand side again. So you can see her RSPs, we're still melting that down, but it's much slower earlier. Again, looking at this effective tax rate, your average tax rate, we want to level that out. And before, what we were doing is we're taking 22,000 out earlier. Now we're doing 8,000. We're pulling less money out early, a bit more money out later on. But if you look at this average tax rate, it's floating within about 2-3% all the way through. And that will continue to stay in that range all the way till her RSP is gone, which is age 85 for her. Then that tax rate drops to about 4%. Until the day she dies. So there is some fluctuation later, which you're going to see. Typically, we do tax planning around that RSP 85, 86, 87. And then those last few years of life, the tax rate will fall. But if she was to die early, we've created a better tax situation for that. So again, if you have that supplemental income, kind of pull back, not fully retire, but pull back, you do have to change your strategy around that RSP meltdown. The RSP meltdown is still very, very important to create a good tax efficient plan within retirement. But it needs to work hand in hand with how much income you're bringing in. So again, if this client went back and said, hey, Adam, I found a part-time job and it's paying $35,000 a year, not $25,000, and hopefully that makes me avoid those last 5 years at $10,000. Then we may not touch our RSPs at all. Again, we have to look at that average tax rate to see how do we kind of level this out and create the best tax efficiency. Phase one, she was about $31,000. When we deferred that CPP, even though she's retiring at 55, if we defer that CPP and create a bit of an RSP meltdown, it jumped her income substantially, about $1,500 a year in real dollars after tax. And then if we add in that bit of supplemental income, we got her over her hump of $36,000, and we adjusted the RSP meltdown to kind of create that level tax situation in retirement. This client, yes, you're able to retire from your main job, but we need some supplemental income, about a third or less of what she was making before. So it's a great situation for her. This client was very happy. We kind of met her need of, I need to get out of my career. I don't mind doing something, keeping busy. A lot of people, when they retire at 55, there's this psychological shift and they're not ready to kind of go cold turkey. And so that transition, especially in early retirement, the transition to something part-time and then even less from there, is a great transition into retirement. So if you're looking for either a better transition into retirement or create some supplemental income once you retire, go back, watch this video, look at the screen, look at the planning software. Again, your numbers, your situation is going to be a little bit different than this, but if you don't have a clear plan, you're going to want to get something like this in place. Again, we're happy to do this with you. Parallelwealth.com/planning. We do offer this service. I know a lot of you try and do it on your own with Excel spreadsheets and that kind of stuff. It works, but if you're looking kind of for that level up, definitely want to jump into something like this and go through that plan. So we're happy to do that with you. Hopefully this helped give you some peace of mind and some kind of clarity around, well, what if I do retire early and wanted to have supplemental income? You do need to adjust. You still want to do the RSP meltdown. That is a massive tax saver for you. But you also want to make sure that it's supplemented with your ongoing income, supplemental income, to make sure you're not paying too much tax early in retirement. So thank you for joining us in this video. I hope it helped. We'll see you in the next one.